Okay, the Digitech Vocalist Live 4. This is a view from above. You can see that even for doing the simple things, you will need to invest in a serious amount of cables. And I'm going to walk you through some of the basics. These are the things that you don't see. They're kind of going on behind the scene. Of course, we have our mixing board. Up here, we've got two cabinet speakers, amplified. Let's see, heading off in this direction is, of course, the guitar. And I'll walk you through some of the basics of the Digitech in a little bit. And explain what all of this is. It's actually not as complicated as it may seem from the very beginning. Heading off in this direction is, of course, the power supply and our microphone. Okay, so first of all, a big thank you to my YouTube friends and followers. I'd like to thank all of you, first of all, for watching the videos. For me, it has simply been a big experiment to play around a little bit with the new Digitech Vocalist Live 4, to do some experimentation and find some of the best solutions for me. So in doing so, I've posted some videos, different covers, using different types of settings. Basically looking for your responses and looking for your input and some help. But what I've received back is also a lot of questions about what I'm doing and what works and what doesn't work in my experimentation so far with the Vocalist. So this morning I received an email or a comment on my YouTube site asking me to explain a little bit about what I've done in my experimentation, what I've learned. So that's what this video is to explain a little bit about what I've learned about the Vocalist Live 4 and what seems to work best under different situations, and I'd be happy to share it with you. Okay, so let's start with the basics. This is the unit looking down, and as you can see, we have 4 different pedals, each one giving different controls. Now the two on the right simply scroll through the different presets. There's the possibility of 100 different presets on the Digitech Vocalist. As you can see, I'm scrolling through them. And if you press and hold, it scrolls very fast, both up and down. Now the presets, as I said, there's 100 of them, and the first 50, numbers 1 through 50, are programmable, completely programmable by you, and the numbers 51 through 100 are the ones that are preset by Digitech, which is actually a great thing I've learned, because it makes sure that even if you muff things up a little bit, you always have the original preset from which you started. And the presets that come with the Digitech, I find, are good. They're very close to what you're looking for. And with some minor adjustments, you can make the sound that you're looking for with the different harmonies. Now, in moving around, let's see, I'm sorry, let me just show you the rest of the pedals. On the far left-hand side is simply turning the effect on. And let's see, do this with. So this gives the effect for the main voice. So it's basically saying if I want the 87 bigger, that it turns on that effect for the voice. And now it's off and on. If I press and hold the effect, it turns on the tuner. And the tuner is quite accurate, and it's quite necessary also for achieving the correct vocal intonations for the lead voice as well as the harmonies. So it's very important that the guitar is in fact tuned together with the unit and through the unit, and I'll explain that in a little bit. Excuse me. Suffering a little bit of a cold here, so the voice isn't what I would love to have. Now, as far as tuning, people have asked me about whether or not you can use alternate tunings with the Digitech. So far, I've found that there's absolutely no problem doing any Crosby, Stills and Nash type covers where they're using some alternate tunings. Is no problem at all. The Digitech is quite capable of handling the different tunings. What's important is that it's tuned to a 440. And I personally use a half step down tuning because it meets my voice and makes a lot of the songs that I play a little bit easier for my vocal range. Now, the harmony effect, which is the main effect of the unit, has a choice. You can, in the settings, in the master settings, you can turn this pedal to turn the effect on and off by pressing the pedal. I choose not to do that because I find that it's too much thinking about when the effects are on or when they're off, and I don't want to be looking down while I'm singing and playing and thinking about whether the effect is on or off. I simply want to hold the pedal during the time that I need the effect, so that when I release the pedal, the effect is off. So that's the way I have mine set, and that's under the universal settings. So you see, when I press and hold, the harmony is on, and when I release, the harmonies are off. And for me, this gives me a lot more control because I don't want the harmonies on most of the time. I simply want to add them in the places where I want them. I also find that even in places where I'm using a lot of harmony in the choruses or at the end, by pressing and holding, gives me a harmony for a second, turns off, and then I can kick it back in again to bring in a different harmony for a different part. So, because what I can do is, if let's say in this case I'm using the 87 bigger, I use this harmony right here, and then right next to it I might have a different harmony, and I can kick that one in for a different part of the song, which then allows me to change to the different harmony and use that harmony for a different part of the song.